Now, how worried should the rest of the league be about Westbrook and Harden together in Houston? Not as worried as the Houston Rockets should be about how to fit Westbrook and Harden together. Look, listen, I totally respect what Houston is doing. I respect their risk tolerance. I love that they're willing to go in. I have not debated you or Stephen A. or anybody else today about who is the better individual talent at this point in their careers, Westbrook or Chris Paul. Westbrook clearly is, but that's just not the end of the story. In fact, it's the beginning of the story. You pulled off an awesome trade, and you brought in a great player. Now you have to fit them together, Westbrook and Harden, and that is not easy. You cannot just keep waving your hand at the fact that they're virtually identical players and identical in extreme ways. They both need the ball. They're both high usage. They're both ball dominant. They're both drivers.
So nobody should be worried.
I'm sorry?
Nobody should be worried.
Not as much as the Rockets should be worried because they have to figure this out.
Why would the Rockets be worried? How would they not be excited, happy? Joe, you just got rid of Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, who's in the middle or at the beginning of a 5-year, $200 million deal that pays him $47 million when he's age 34.
He just averaged 3 straight triple-doubles. Why would they be worried? They got rid of Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. Chris Paul probably played a little over half the season last year.
Because, as I said to Stephen A. at the top of the show today, this is a riddle that right now I don't know whether or not it's solvable. Can you put Russell Westbrook and James Harden together and come out with something that is better than the sum of its parts? Right now, I don't know of a single example.
Didn't play the entire season, correct?
I don't know of a single example.
They just signed a guy who didn't play the entire season.
The point is, this project is about itself. The worry should be internal. All of the focus for the Rockets should be on how do we fix this? How do we solve this? How do we put this together?
Did Houston get better? When they swapped out Chris Paul,
yet to be seen.
I'm asking you, right? You can't answer that. So right now on paper, they didn't get better. By youth, by age, by playing, whatever you want to say, they didn't get better.
No, not the last one, playing style. No, and that's why you went quickly. That's why you moved on and smiled. Because playing style is what it's all about. The one thing I can say about Chris Paul, there's questions, as we've talked to Kendrick Perkins, yourself today, there's questions about his personality and about his leadership. But I don't think there are questions about Chris Paul's ability to be a floor general, to understand the right way to play basketball, and therefore put it in the best possible situation when playing next to James Harden. Those same things cannot be said about Russell Westbrook right now. We're soon to find out, and that's what you should be worried about.
Chris Paul is one of the most intelligent players in the NBA maybe we've ever seen and that I've played with, but he doesn't have the same legs. The year before, he gave you everything he got. He was able to break down guys off the bounce. He shot contested threes. He got in the lane. He made plays. His body broke down on him. Hopefully he bounces back. He's healthy. But in all reality, for you to say that the rest of the league is not worried about the Houston Rockets, you got to be kidding me. No,
this
is a team.
Be clear about what I said.
You said
as worried as the Rockets should be.
Those are little things. Those are little things.
Little things.
This is a team.
Yes, not quite little.
These two got along already. They were already teammates. So it's not like you're rewriting the book, Will. So this isn't, they've never played. They've played together before.
That gives me hope. I agree.
You should have a lot more than hope. This is a team also night in and night out. Their pace is going to be from the 120s to the 130s. In the NBA, that's how you win. You spread the floor, you run, you get up a lot of threes, and now you have two playmakers. See, the thing that we keep harping on with Chris Paul, and I don't want to make this a dog Chris Paul type of day, he didn't have the ability to get in the hole and play downhill. The one thing Russell Westbrook is, outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo, is arguably the best player we've ever seen. We'll throw LeBron in there of getting downhill, getting in the paint, and kicking out the shooters. And might I add, Russell Westbrook loves to pass. He loves to pass, Will.
You pointing out that they've done it together, and Charlie's pointed out to me as well, they have done it together in the past, is for reason for hope that this can work out.
That's more than reason, bro.
Hold on, I'm not done.
You have a sample size, and they went to the NBA Finals, might I add.
Tap the brakes.
Made it to the Finals.
1 second. Also the fact that they apparently like each other, and that their personalities might fit together better than Harden and Chris Paul's also gives you reason for hope. But you are pretending like there hasn't been years upon years of basketball since those two played together. They've grown. They've grown in individual ways. They've grown in prominence. They've grown in star power. They've grown in ball dominance. And they've grown apart. Can they come back together? That's what the Rockets need to worry about.
And in that era in which they were extremely successful but didn't get the ultimate goal, and we both agree would it be a championship, they ran into the Golden State Warriors, the greatest team that we have ever seen play the game of basketball.
Hey, that's
It was with
my
Durant,
argument for why the Rockets should stand pat. With Chris Paul, they took the Warriors to everything they had.
Just stop. Just stop saying that. Seriously, just stop saying that. Russell Westbrook is twice the player Chris Paul is right now at this day and age. Now, not saying that Chris Paul wasn't a baller.
How about with James Harden? Because that's all that matters.
It's going to fit.
That's all that matters.
It's going to fit. Check this out.
You've been in the Big Three too long? Like, all you think about is like 1, 2, 3 guys together?
No, I'm talking
about like 5.
I covered the NBA last year. Outside of playing it for 10 years,
I'm talking about. I want to be clear.
I know
you know
what
I'm talking about 5-on-5 basketball, right?
I know we're not talking duos anymore. And even when we talk duos, I talk fit. So let me tell you the reality.
Not Big Three.
Who will we say are the 2 favorites right now? Shout out Big Three, by the way. Shout out QB. Saw him earlier. Lakers and the Clippers, correct?
What was your question again?
Lakers and the Clippers, we'd say, arguably the favorites for a championship. I know you took the field yesterday, but you'll say talent-wise.
No favorites.
And part of your exact reason, Will, to help me out in that you took the field is because they're thrown together in 1 year.
Yep.
There's things they have to figure out from a coaching staff.
Yep.
Players have to find out chemistry. They've got to see how this thing fits. When I'm looking at Houston.
But those duos make sense together.
We're not questioning the talent, but you got to see how it fits. That's why it's a high red alert level of concern when you look at what Houston just did. This is a plug-and-play situation. D'Antoni has a free offense, and part of the reason that James Harden played a lot of isolation basketball is because he had to. There wasn't another healthy body on the floor. There wasn't another scorer or playmaker on the floor. And now when you plug Russell Westbrook in that two-headed attack, you are spacing the floor. You are spreading out the offense. And now it's an easier fit than those
Russell
other guys.
Russell Westbrook shot 29% from 3.
That's got to improve. I'm not fighting that.
That's spacing the floor? 29% from 3.
Well, the ball's in his
One
hands.
of the lowest in the league. And by the way, spot-up shooting.
I agree. But the one thing
inside and outside of 3.
For a big guard, what are the 2 things you'll say as a guard he does better than anybody in the league right now as a point guard?
Drive to the basket?
Drive to the basket and also rebound the basketball, correct? So when your point guard rebounds the basketball, pushes the ball full court, and gets guys open, that is going to be a night and day difference.
Ryan,
I want to throw something else at you.
The duos you talked about. The thing is, man, I feel like you're dodging the obvious problems, and I don't know why you're doing it. Maybe because you like the guys. I'm not. Maybe because you like the concept of talent accumulation. But you can acknowledge this: LeBron and AD makes sense on paper, right? In theory.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Kawhi and Paul George makes sense on paper.
Absolutely.
Fit together.
Absolutely.
Russ and James Harden doesn't make sense on paper.
I'm looking at system. I'm looking at system, and I don't question Doc's coaching, but Doc is going to have to plug and play and figure things out. I've seen him. I worked with the Clippers last season.
Every one of these duos.
I've seen him try different lineups.
Every one of these duos, Steph and Clay, has a guy who thrives off the ball. Maybe that will be James Harden. James can shoot better than Russ. Maybe it'll end up being Russ handles the ball. James will be like, I don't need to handle it anymore. I'll spot up. I'll shoot. But I am doubtful that James is all of a sudden going to take that secondary role.
Let me give you a stat. I worked on the bounce last year via Turner Sports and Yahoo with my brother, Quentin Richardson. And there's an alarming stat that he kept screaming out all season long. Shout out Knuckleheads Podcast. He said James Harden scored 263 unassisted baskets. That means he had to work harder than anybody in the league and maybe in history at scoring point after point.
Unassisted means that you were handling
isolation. Exactly. So hear me now. Now you put him in a situation where not only did that basketball not win in the playoffs, Will, this guy's not an idiot. He understands it.